So, what if I told you that falling wasn't something to be afraid of? Today, we're going to dive into this incredible speech by Denzel Washington that totally flips the script on how we think about risk and failure. It's all about learning to not just fall, but to fall forward. Denzel starts with this powerful quote, which he attributes to Nelson Mandela. And wow, it really sets the stage for everything. This isn't about playing it safe, It's a challenge right out of the gate for all of us to ask ourselves, are you settling for a life that's less than the one you are truly capable of living? Think about it. From the moment we make any big decision in life, what's the one piece of advice we always hear? Make sure you have something to fall back on, right? It sounds so practical, so safe. But Denzel comes in with this radical alternative. Instead of building a safety net to fall back on, what if your entire goal was to fall forward? And that, right there, is what he calls the fallback fallacy. Because the very idea of a safety net, of a plan B, can kind of subtly program you for failure. It gives you an out. It might just be distracting you from giving absolutely everything you have to your plan A. So what does it actually mean to fall forward? Well, it's a huge mental shift. It's accepting that, hey, you're probably going to fall at some point. It happens. So you might as well do it while you're moving towards your goal. That way, you can see what you hit. Every single stumble becomes a lesson, not a loss. This reminds me of that classic 9-dot puzzle. The only way you can possibly solve it is by drawing lines that go outside the box. It's the perfect metaphor, really. To achieve your biggest goals, you can't be afraid to go beyond the limits you think are there. And that kind of outside-the-box thinking, well, it requires a whole new relationship with failure. It stops being this big, scary thing to avoid at all costs. In the fall-forward philosophy, every single misstep is actually progress. It's a step forward. Okay, listen to this number. 2,600. That's how many times the baseball legend Reggie Jackson struck out. He holds the all-time record. I mean, by that metric, he failed more than anyone else in the history of the sport. But do we ever talk about that? No. We don't remember him for the strikeouts. His nickname isn't the King of Strikeouts. It's Mr. October for all the incredible game-winning home runs he hit. The lesson here is so clear. In the end, people celebrate the wins, not the thousands of failures it took to get there. And then you've got Thomas Edison. Before he gave us the light bulb, he conducted, wait for it, 1,000 failed experiments. 1,000. Just think about that for a second. Most of us would probably give up after what, 5? 10? Edison's whole perspective just nails the fall-forward mindset. For him, each failure wasn't a dead end. It was just more data. Every attempt that didn't work just got him one step closer to the one that would. See? Failure wasn't the opposite of success. It was a crucial part of the process. All right, so if we accept that failure is just part of the process, then what's the process for? That brings us to this really critical distinction that Denzel makes between our dreams and our goals. This is one of those lines that's so simple, but so true. Having a dream is amazing. It's the spark. But if you don't have concrete, actionable goals to move you toward it, that dream is just going to stay stuck in your head. It becomes a fantasy, not a real destination. So how do you actually turn that dream into a reality? Well, it pretty much comes down to this. You got to find what you're passionate about, have the guts to take chances and fail big. And then, and this might be the most important part, you need the consistency to just keep showing up day after day. And nobody embodies this more than Denzel himself. He tells this personal story that is just the ultimate lesson in falling forward. And it asks a really tough question. Do you have the guts to fail? Not just once, but over and over again, for decades? So early in his career, he completely bombs an audition at the Court Theater on Broadway. But for the next 30 years, he just keeps working, keeps preparing, keeps trying. And then, 3 decades later, he finds himself back on that exact same stage, this time accepting a Tony Award for his role in Fences. How incredible is that? Denzel sums up this whole idea with some great old-school wisdom. It's all about persistence. It's about putting yourself in the position where good things can happen. If you keep showing up, keep putting in the work, eventually it's going to be your turn. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If you aren't failing, are you even really trying? Maybe a life without any failures isn't a sign of success at all. Maybe it's a sign that you're just not pushing yourself hard enough to truly grow. But here's where it gets even deeper. Falling forward isn't just about your own personal success. Denzel argues that the ultimate goal is to shift your focus away from what you can get in life and focus on what you can give. That's where real purpose is found. He paints this picture that's so vivid it's almost haunting. Imagine you're at the end of your life, and you're surrounded by these ghosts. And these aren't strangers. They're the ghosts of the ideas you were too scared to try, the talents you never used. And they're angry because you were the only person who could have ever brought them to life. So what's the antidote to that terrifying fate? It's about giving what you have. And it's not just about money. The world needs your unique gifts, your talent, your time, your patience, your kindness. Every single one of us has something to offer. The real question is, what are you going to do with yours? And that brings us to the final, incredibly powerful challenge of this whole idea. Those ghosts, that unfulfilled potential, they're waiting for you to make a choice. This is the question he leaves us with. It's personal, it's direct, and it's something you won't forget. When your time comes, is your bed going to be surrounded by the regrets of a life you were too afraid to live? The choice really starts right now. And the answer to that question, the way to keep those ghosts away, is right here. Never let failure discourage you. Never hold back because you're scared. Just give everything you've got. So remember this. It's more than just advice. It's a command. Don't fall back. When you fall, and you will, make sure you fall forward.